PlayStation 5 sucks because of them forcing you to use that new PlayStation 5 controller. Hey, welcome back to GT Canada. A couple days ago, Sony released a new video highlighting their DualSense controller. No, I'm not talking about the DualShock controller. That would be the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. This is the DualSense controller, which, as many of you know, this is for the PlayStation 5, the brand new console that is out. And a lot of people that have not used a PlayStation 5 controller have no idea what all this hype is about. So let's watch the video first. PlayStation. It's only a 2-minute video, so it's not that long. But let's talk about this. So the SSD speed, you have to really experience that to know how fast this truly is. I've done some comparisons on the loading times between Warzone on a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5. I've also done loading time comparisons on Black Ops 4, because that was the game that we had when I got my PlayStation 5. So I did loading time comparisons on that as well. It's staggering, especially in games like Warzone. I'm always the squad leader in Warzone because I load in so fast. So the squad leader on Warzone is determined largely by your internet speed and how quickly you load into the map versus everyone else. Since I'm in many seconds before anyone else, like 5, 6, 7 seconds before anybody else even starts to appear, they automatically just crown me with the squad leader mantle, which is not something I take lightly. I take my squad leadership very seriously. It's fast, okay? And it's why Sony's being so picky about the internal storage slot, which I've talked a lot about in other videos. If you haven't seen those, I'll put a link down in the description and probably a card up over here, so you can check out those videos after this one's done. Just know that it's fast. Integrated I/O, whatever, who cares? Everybody has integrated I/O. The PlayStation 5 has integrated I/O, the PlayStation 4 did, the Xbox Series X does. Nobody cares. This generation is not about performance. All of them have performance, and even with all that performance, all of the reviewers agree that there is no significant jump in visual quality over the last generation. There is an improvement. Don't get me wrong, don't hear me wrong. There is an improvement. There are improvements. There is something that's making it better visually. However, it is not the same as the jump from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, and it is not the same as the jump from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. The jump from PlayStation 3 to 4 was a much smaller visual jump for the next gen consoles, and the jump from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, I would suggest, is even smaller in visual quality than the 3 to the 4 was. So we're hitting that point where even if you double, triple, or quadruple your power, your capabilities, we are not seeing that in the sense of better graphics. Once you hit the level of realism that we have, how do you get more real than real, right? I'm real. You can't make me look better with a better graphics card or better processing power or anything like that. So this is just whatever. Everyone's got this, no big deal. The controller though, haptic feedback. This is a very good representation of what they can do. That was actually a very good representation of what 30, 60, and 120 frames per second looks like to the average person. So you can, your eyes will pick that up. That's really smart by Sony. So a couple things that I wanted to review from that video. Most notably, so it talks about the 3D audio. I've made other videos about the 3D audio. I think it's a marketing gimmick. It's basically just virtual surround sound pumped through headphone speakers. It's not great. If you are currently only using stereo speakers, 3D sound will sound amazing to you and you will love it and you'll be happy and you'll never know what you're missing. The HDR, I could take it or leave it. It doesn't make that much difference. Same with the ray tracing. A lot of people are turning the ray tracing off. It is nice for experiential games to have HDR and ray tracing running. The 120 Hertz is also nice. Many of the games force you to pick one. You get ray tracing or you get 120 Hertz. You do not get both. And I don't know if that's a hardware limitation, the system can't do both, or what exactly is causing that. But you have to drop down to 60 frames per second to turn ray tracing on many of the games. I'm not saying all of them because hopefully they'll figure that out to make it enabled. But at least the games I play, it's one or the other. The big thing is the controller. And this, in my opinion, is the single reason why Sony's PlayStation 5 is the better console to get this generation. I've made a lot of videos talking about how to use this controller, how to use this headset with your PlayStation 5, and I get a lot of the comments and I read all of those comments. And I've recently made a video showing you how to use the PlayStation 4 controller while playing PlayStation 5 games. Now this wouldn't sound very revolutionary, especially to you Xbox owners, because the Xbox owners are able to use all of the old controllers with their Xbox Series X and their Xbox Series S. So it's something you guys take for granted. A lot of the Xbox owners like to say that the PlayStation 5 sucks because of them forcing you to use that new PlayStation 5 controller. And I want to explain why that is, why Sony makes you use that PlayStation 5 controller, and that'll help you understand. We already talked about the graphics, how more power does not make a better experience. The graphics can only look so much better, and it takes so much more power to make the graphics look so much more better. And Sony recognized that. They knew that this generation would require a better experience. And that's what the controller is all about. When you see the video showing the dual sense, it's called a dual sense for a reason, because with that haptic feedback built into there, it is not the same as the vibration motors of the old days where it's just got a weight on there that just spins around and makes it vibrate at different frequencies. This actually has the ability to bring that controller alive. The experience in the game, when you've got triggers that can adapt to the game you're playing, they truly do immerse you that much more. Now, I'm not talking about competitive games. If you're into Call of Duty or any other first-person shooter type game, you are likely going to turn all of those features off. Why? Because it's a distraction. When you're playing a competitive game, you're not worried about realism. You are worried about getting an advantage over your competitor and winning. He doesn't care. If you lose, the guy you lost to does not care if your experience was more real. He's gonna rub it in your face anyway. If you are playing adventure games, you will absolutely want to play those on your PlayStation 5 and not your new Xbox. I promise you, the experience will be different. Sony knows that. Sony knows that the experience is what's going to sell a console. And in this video, they're trying to help you understand the experience that they can provide you if you choose the PlayStation 5 over the other competitors. In my opinion, that is why Sony restricts you on the PlayStation 5 games to use the PlayStation 5 controller. They want to control that experience so that they can make sure that you leave that game having felt something, because that is how you create what's known in the industry as raving fan customers. If you're a raving fan customer, what are you going to do? You're going to put your controller down, you're going to go to work, and you're going to be telling everybody about the game that you just played, the level you got to, the boss you just beat, the whatever. And somebody, somewhere at some point, is going to say, yeah, I played that game on my Xbox. I didn't really like it. And you, as the raving fan customer, are going to say, but you don't know. You didn't play it on a PlayStation 5, and that's why you didn't like it. Because if you could hold that controller and feel as this giant Tyrannosaurus Rex is charging towards you and the whole ground is shaking, your controller, you can feel every footstep in the controller, and it feels like there's an experience to have there. As you draw on your bow and try to shoot them with arrows, or you're picking up different guns and shooting them or whatever, there's an experience to have there. And the Xbox owners will not have that same experience, not currently. If Microsoft is smart, they are scrambling like crazy to create their own version of the DualSense so that they can do a software update and try to increase that. Similar to what they did with the Kinect. Yes, the Microsoft Kinect was the response to the Nintendo Wii. Microsoft is good at recognizing successes and then making their own cheap gimmicks to try and capture that market share as well. Hopefully the engineers are mad crazy at work right now to create their competition to the DualSense controller, and at that time you may even see Microsoft force you to switch to that controller for the brand new games and won't allow you to use your old controller, just like Sony's doing right now. That's all I wanted to review right now, is that Sony sucks, and this is why, and a lot of people are complaining that Sony sucks, and try to explain why they made the choices that they made from a consumer's perspective. I don't know, I'm not sitting in the Sony boardrooms getting all the back conversations and all the backstory and seeing all the decisions as they unfold. I just know business, and I know the sorts of things that they would decide on based on what I'm seeing and what they're projecting. So that's my best guess. I challenge you to come up with a better reason why. I don't think it's just about money. I think it is about selling that experience, and they want to make sure that they can guarantee that experience. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Don't forget to check out our other videos. We got a lot of great videos in the back library. Got a lot of automotive ones, which I'd love for you to give a chance to as well. You know, watch those while you're waiting for the next PlayStation video to come out. Hope to see you again, but until next time, have a great day.